spent over 2 years shooting a 50-pound plus bow trainer in VR as my main form of exercise. 3 months ago, I switched to the shadowshot. Now I'm here to tell you what works with the shadowshot, what doesn't work with the shadowshot, and if you decide to get a shadowshot, how to keep yours from breaking. Full disclosure, they sent me this for free for testing, but until recently I've had no financial incentives from them. More on that later, or just check the doobly-doo. My overall review. This is a really fun toy, like, really fun. I've never done VR archery without any kind of resistance, or at least not much, so I sort of take bow haptics for granted. This is just bow haptics straight out of the box. And unlike my old solution, I can release this guy without messing up my shot. The piston, the weight, it doesn't affect my left hand, as you can see. So therefore, shot stays true, or, true enough. Once you figure out, of course, how to shoot around it. Here, check out some B-roll, and maybe I'll show it a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see.
So if I release normally, like that, see, kind of goes off to the side a little bit. If I roll my fingers like this, I'm a little bit more consistent. There we go. There we go. See what I'm saying? So if you release normally like an archer, see, I'm just like releasing my fingers, and I can do okay with that. But if I roll, I'm getting a little bit more consistent there, except for that one. But yeah, see, and that's me rolling the fingers. By rolling, I mean just literally rolling like that. So it's like kind of just roll the string in your fingers, and that works a little bit better.
The piston also gives the energy stored in the bow someplace to go. So I get a lot of comments, people are just like, it's never okay to dry fire a bow, it's never okay to... Which is true. Don't dry fire or release without an arrow a bow. When you pull a bow back, if there's no arrow, you should ease it forward. Because the force has to go somewhere, but the piston gives the force somewhere to go. What happens is, I pull back the piston and I release, and it compresses air inside the piston, which is now taking the force, and then of course it releases that air, making a really satisfying hiss noise. I mean, just listen to that. That noise is awesome. I don't know why, I just really love that noise. A few cons. One, the string, as you can see here, lacks servings on the end. And by servings, I'm talking about this. This is a different bowstring from an actual bow. See how this is all kind of wrapped up? Where this is not wrapped up, leaving all of its strands just kind of dangling there. It kind of makes stringing it just a little bit of a pain. I know what you're thinking, no big deal, just leave it strung, right? No. Don't ever leave a bow strung for long periods of time. Trust me, I have seen bows left strung for over a year in storage, and they were warped as anything. That will break your bow, so you do need to string your bow, which means you have to deal with the fact that this guy doesn't have servings, and so sometimes when you get it in there, here, I'm doing this on purpose just to show you. I am bad at stringing it improperly, so sometimes like this can happen, which you don't want. You want all the strands to be through. So it is a pain to string, but you do need to string it. So were I them, would have put servings on the ends of the strings. However, they probably did it for two reasons. One, to save a little bit of money, as is always the case, and two, so it can fit through the end of this thing. As you can see, here's the quote-unquote arrow. It can fit right through the end here, right? Or a string with a serving won't be able to. So I think that's why they did it, but they could have just left this hole a little bit bigger and allowed for it to string, or created a thing to clip on the end like some other solutions do. They didn't. They chose to do it this way. Makes it kind of a pain to string. That leads to another con of the shadowshot, is that these limbs don't lock in. They just kind of slip in with pressure. So if I do this, you'll notice it pops right off. Nothing locks in place. Now what makes that a pain is that sometimes when you're trying to string the bow, it can pop out and makes it kind of a pain to work with. However, once it's actually in and in use, that's no issue. It stays. I've never had the limb slip out during use. It's been fine. It's only when you're stringing and restringing and unstringing that becomes a problem, but it is a problem because it just makes it a little bit harder to set up and break down, which would make you more likely to try to leave it strung all the time, which is a bad way to store a bow because then it'll warp it and break your bow. So the third con is that this is a 15-pound bow. So if I hold it from here and pull back, that's about 15 pounds of force, 15.6 according to the calculations I made when I was first unboxing this. You can check out the unboxing below. However, because of the handle placement, which I'll talk about in a minute, it's actually about 10.6 when I'm here. If you're looking for some serious workout equipment, this isn't it. This is the minimum poundage that you use in youth archery. I used to teach archery, youth bows, 15 to 25 pounds is what you use. This is a 15-pound bow. However, I understand why they selected this. They did it because this is sort of the minimum bow that you'll find, and it allows it to be a pretty good entry point. So if you're looking for a toy for fun bow haptics and VR, that's fine. If you're looking for a serious piece of workout equipment, maybe not this, although real solutions that'll actually work out are going to run a lot more money than this guy. So if you don't care about the poundage, this is still a good thing. But if you care about the poundage, that's a con. Another con, in my opinion, is the handle placement. So this handle placement, it's above the arrow and in front of the bow. I probably would have placed it somewhere around here-ish, where my hand is now. In order to pull back with your hands in proper placement, you're above your arrow. You can kind of see it bending a little bit when I do it. It's slightly awkward placement. I think they did it, though, because they want you to be able to work around your right hand. Because if you're doing this, your controller is in the way, right? See, it's like a little bit in the way there, but with up here, it's perfectly free, especially in games like Blade and Sorcery, where you have to hold this. So I suspect that's why they did it. I think they did some R&D, and that's why they did it. I just find it slightly awkward. So, and you get the occasional comment, "Oh, you're holding your string wrong." It's like, no, it's how they designed this. It's how it's supposed to work. Despite all that, this thing is just fun. Honestly, if you see my videos and you think a bow in VR would be fun, then this is for you. Is it serious exercise equipment? No. But I have heard people talk about just doing archery in VR without any haptics or bows and thinking that that's a pretty good workout. And this 15 or 10.6 pounds of resistance would add a little bit more resistance and a little bit more cardio to that workout. So if that's what you're going for, again, good choice. But if you're actually looking for serious upper body development, try to get some gains, this isn't for you. If you just want a fun toy in VR or add a little bit more cardio, this is definitely for you. Is it a fun way to make VR archery better? Yes. Yes, it is. I have an affiliate link in the description if you're interested in getting one, but just do remember, though, unstring it when you're done, right? When you're done playing with it, take it. You gotta put it on the ground usually. I'm gonna put it on a desk, so it's a little slippy, but just slip the string off and unstring it. I like to rubber band one end to keep it in there. Makes more sense when your limbs stay in place, but that's okay. Make sure you unstring these guys. It'll keep it good for a very long period of time. They also do break down for storage, so that's cool. And yeah, that is the shadowshot. Thank you very much for stopping by. Check out the link in the description if you want to purchase one. Peace out.